This is Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast, where we discuss the connection between life and acting.
Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast. I gotta say this right off the top today. Hit that subscribe button. Just jump on there and just bring. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video. Help us spread this light-driven content to the planet. Joey, we are talking today about a concept. Listen, choose, be. This is something I came up with a long time ago for the studio, actually, and this idea was going to be the cornerstone of the Lighthouse curriculum. So if you remember correctly, like in the history of Lighthouse and how that came about.
I'm sorry, are your nails painted?
Oh, yeah.
You're probably going to have to explain that to the viewers.
Really? I got to explain this? Is it weird?
I mean, no, I just thought it was funny. And it's one of those things where you always tell us if you don't point it out. So you're just over here like a regular day.
Choose, be.
Like, listen, choose, be, and your nails are like turquoise.
Are they not blue? They're like a bluish, like a
Turquoise is blue.
like a beautiful blue.
Yeah, it's like a...
All right, so here's what happened last night. We were watching some. So let me backtrack, okay? Because we can tie this in.
Oh, okay, cool.
To the listen, choose, be idea.
Sure.
So we will. And thank you. You're right. Like this is there. It's like a thing now. Now we got to talk about it. So we should really do that. So last night, if you remember, we were watching our good friend Matt Seabird. He was playing some foosball, some professional football, and we're hanging out at my house, and it was a great night watching Seabird play, and my daughter comes over, and my wife was really tired, and we were just sort of like kind of zenning out on the couch, and I could tell my wife had hit that. She hits this zone where I actually told her this morning. She's going to kill me for saying this, but she kind of turns into a gremlin. It's like, have you ever seen the Gremlins? You know what that is? There was like this old movie it was like a horror movie, and there's these cute little, like, they almost look like stuffed animals, like the cutest little things in the world. And then if you accidentally spill water on them, they would turn into like a beast, just scare, like, and my wife, like, something happens to her at like 7:30, and she just turns into a gremlin, and she gets cranky and needs to go to bed and all that. And so last night she was like right on the edge, and my daughter was being really cute. And she comes over and she's like, "Mommy, I want to paint your nails, and I want to be twinsies." And my daughter's 6, so it's like really cute. And my wife's like, "Oh, baby, I would love to, but Mommy's too tired." And so she ends up putting the baby down, and so I'm sitting there, and she comes over and she's like, "What about you, Daddy?" I was like, "Sure, why not?"
Sure, why not?
So she's like, "What color do you want?" And I'm like, "Well, I want it. How about you pick?" And she's like, "I think blue would be good for Daddy." And I'm like, "All right." So I just sat there and I was watching the game, and I kind of got a little nail polish going on.
Hey, I mean, a lot of people pay money for that.
Yeah, so I'm wearing my nail polish with pride this morning. It was a Rosalind Deering special. Very good.
Honestly, I knew it happened, but it still took me off guard. That's why I had to say something.
It's like you
about
forgot.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Spring, 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 spring. All right, good. So that's how I got nail polish on. So let me go back now to where I was at. Okay.
Yes.
So going backwards. This idea of listen, choose, be. It came as a as a thought that I wanted to base the entire cornerstone of our Lighthouse curriculum on. Now, at one point, we were going to change the Deering Acting Studio to become Lighthouse. Lighthouse is now a part of Deering Acting Studio, and it is a nonprofit. It's its own business, but obviously we're connected to it in a lot of ways. But But anyway, at one point in time, I just was like, okay, this is going to be like the cornerstone. And the reason why I loved it so much is the concept behind it. It is like it applies to all of life. It applies to acting, and it applies to almost anything that you might do. So you can even like question me through this a little bit, and like you could throw me examples, and I could tell you exactly how it fits. But here's the basic idea is you start by listening. You really, really listen to whatever it is, whatever's going on. Then you make a choice, and then you decide to just live in the truth of that moment, to just be. And then it repeats. So I told you that I could connect it to the nail polish, right? And so here's what I could do. If I'm listening to the room, okay, my daughter, she's in a good mood. It's the end of the night. She wanted to do something that she thought was going to be fun and loving and whatnot. And she had this energy. And she came up to her dad and she said, "Can I paint your nails?" Which is an unusual thing for me to have my nails painted. I don't think I can't remember the last time if I've ever had them painted. And so I listened to her, but I'm not just listening to, "Hey, do you want to get your nails painted?" Because that would be a weak choice. Because the obvious answer is no. Okay. Like I don't normally wear nail polish, so my obvious answer to that question is no. But my answer to what's real, if I'm really listening, it's beyond the nail polish, right? She's asking me, "Can I share a moment with you? Like, can you and I have an experience together?" Like that's what she's really saying, and it just happens to be masked with the nail polish. Okay, so I listen to that. Then I make a choice. It's going to be yes or no, right? I'm gonna make some kind of a choice. So I make the choice to say yes. Then from there, I own it. Like I just own that choice 100%. This is what I've decided to do. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to own the choice. That's where I am. I'm just going to be. I'm going to relax into this moment. I'm going to try to experience this moment to its fullest right now. That's the idea of just to be.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's apply this to acting really quick. On the stage, the number one thing you have to do is listen. You've got to listen to your scene partner. And as you listen to them, if you're really, really listening, you hear that subtext that I'm talking about. You hear what's underneath the words. From what you hear, you make a choice. And then from the choice, you just be. So instead of trying to like add something, like I call it throw mustard on it, or trying to do something, you just like, you listen, you make a choice based on like, okay, this is what I choose. And then you just let your body kind of do what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to fight it or something.
That makes sense.
Right?
I like that idea because, I think there's a couple different ways to go about it, but as far as explanation goes, but it basically, like, listen, choose, be, it goes down to this idea of, like, being a process, right? So going through the process of, hey, let me be open first. Let me listen to what you have to say or what the room is saying or whatever. Let me be open to do prep work or pre-work on whatever it is you're working on, and then go into the room and be willing to drop it based on what you hear. That's like listen. Then choose. For me, as a like listening to that would be from listening to the room, from linking into that, then you take a breath and you decide, okay, cool, let me figure out which way I want to go with this performance or this project or the presentation of this whatever, Then you go to the B, which is you breathe into it and you just let the moment happen. Is that?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Okay.
That's pretty close.
Because I've never heard this explained before. I've heard the term, but I haven't heard it like broken down.
Sure, and this is something like straight up I made up, so it's not like a thing that's like a known deal or anything. Like, this is just like I was going through, and I'm always looking for ways to simplify concepts down, and I find this to be like a really good explanation for actors and acting, and again, even life. Like I look at this and I go, okay, at the highest level, it's listen to God. Mm-hmm. Listen to self, listen to spirit, listen to truth.
Yeah.
So if you really listen, then you're going to have to make a choice. So when you listen, something is being told to you. You get the information download.
Yeah.
Then you got to make a choice, right? Then once you've made the choice, then the idea is to be.
Yeah.
Just to be. And what does that mean to be?
Well, I mean, just because it has the word be in it, I would say, like, be the most authentic version of you can be, right? Be you. Don't try to compare yourself to somebody else. Don't try to be where they're at or do what they've done or whatever, because you are you. So if you can love you and live into that, then that's gonna take you further than trying to be someone else or follow trends or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And also the idea, like, to be is to I think you hit it with the word authentic. It's my idea of it is to be relaxed, to be like just be in the space where you can receive more information and start the cycle over again.
Yeah.
So you're in this place that's like, this is me right now as I am. And it could be like I chose something that causes me to feel angry. Mm-hmm. Then just be that.
Yeah.
Don't pretend like you're not. Just be that thing. Because from there, you can then you got to go back to listening again. And if you go back to listening, you're then open to change.
Yeah.
And probably, if you're listening, the best choice is going to be to not stay angry unless you're in a scene where it requires that, and maybe then you get more angry. Right?
Yeah.
So let's just say, we'll go back to like acting here, and I'm on stage. Remember the play that I did with Brian, the Lonesome West.
Yeah.
And my brother and I in the play, we have this little like thing at the end, right? And it's like this really cool build up, and we keep like hitting each other with these things that we did to each other when we were kids. And it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse, right? And so what happens is the character receives the information and they hate it. Like, hey, and I did this, and by the way, when you were a kid, I did this thing, and it was actually me that did the thing. You thought it was somebody else, and it was me. And you can watch the characters just go, okay, cool. All right, I forgive you. And here's what I did. And then they put this new thing on it, right? And you can just see, you can watch the anger build. So what's the idea there, okay? So as an actor living in the scene, what I have to do is I've got to listen from the character's point of view. Mm-hmm. From the listening, I start to feel something. From the choice, I feel more. I become more like connected into that thing. Then I have to just let that be. Wherever that is, I let it be. And then I listen for ways that I can get back at them. But now I'm heightened. I'm still at this heightened place, and I'm listening from there, building, listening from there, building. That's how that kind of shifts. So it's not like, this isn't a thing where you get stuck, but it is a thing where you want to allow yourself to be wherever it is, and yet stay in a place where you can always go back to the listening thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with Seabird last night. I know he was open a lot.
Seabird!
Should have gotten the ball a couple times, but that's all right. So this idea of like you're going out for a pass, okay? If you're a receiver
Or a tight end.
with tight end, yeah. Let's say you're a tight end, and what you do is you've got to play. All right, you listen to the play. Okay, you make a choice. You go, okay, I'm going to do the thing. And I've got a couple routes I'm going to run. Now, as soon as you start, right, you've got to be in this state of relaxation at the line of scrimmage. Okay, then I go, and I'm supposed to run a certain route. I got to keep listening. So I'm just going back in my mind to one play. Siebert was on. They were on like the goal line area, and he had a little out route that he's going to run. Okay, but it's his zone defense. So he's running the out route, and you see where he's got choices at that point in time. He's got to listen. He's listening to the zone. And so you see him turn like he's going to go out, and then he stops and turns around. He's wide open.
Right in front of the end zone.
The two defenders kind of flank him over to the side. He's wide open because he was listening to the defense, made a choice to go to the exact spot where he's going to be wide open. Catch the ball, just lean backwards, and you're in the end zone. Drives me crazy because... and nothing against the quarterback there, but in that particular circumstance, they were not on the same page where the quarterback didn't, like the quarterback, it looked like just went with the automatic route that he thought was going to be there instead of listening moment to moment to be able to make a new choice and go, you know what, there's the hole. I'm watching my tight end's feet. I can tell that he knows where the gap is. I'm going to hit him right here. Instead of way over there where the defense is, I'm going to get him right to where he's open.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot that I don't know about football.
Sure.
And Siebert might be like, dude, that was my fault. Like, it was totally my fault, blah, blah, blah. But from my eyes, I looked at it and I went, oh, like, that's the smart choice there. And it looks like if I were the quarterback, I might have read that same play the same way. Of course, football is so fast. It's boom, 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 right? Like, the quarterback's got to make decisions and whatnot. And to his credit, he didn't throw an interception or anything like that. So all good, but that's the idea of it. Okay. So now let's say it's a different play. Let's say we got one of our Russell Wilson deals going on.
Houdini.
Or Kyler Murray, even better. So you're a receiver for Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray, and what's going to probably happen on 30 to 50% of the plays, Joey?
They're going to improvise.
The quarterback's going to improvise.
Yeah.
So he's going to look, okay, you're not open. Line breaks down. Okay, boom, I gotta scramble a little bit. So you start to scramble. Now here's the deal. Someone like a Larry Fitzgerald, who's so smart and understands certain things, or like a George Kittle, like these players that are like next level listening. They go, they run their route, they look, they're listening, they're making a choice, and then they're in the place where like, I'm not panicked. I'm in a place where I just am who I am right now. That's the B part. As I look back from this place, I listen again. Now I'm back into the listening, and I'm going, what's happening? Because I don't have the ball. How do I help?
Yeah.
And I make a new choice. And what are my choices? Okay.
Block.
It's block. Go to another gap. Run toward the same direction where the quarterback's running so I can be in his eye line. Go deep, try to get behind the defense so I can give him a bomb to throw at, come all the way back to the quarterback, give him a safety throw. Like, there's all kinds of choices that I can make. And for each moment and each play and each like place I might be on the field, there's going to be a different right answer for every second that's happening.
Yeah.
And so it's not like everyone should have run back to the quarterback. That's not going to be helpful, right? It's going to look like a bunch of 4-year-olds following the soccer ball. So it can be very easy for us as fans to look at it and be like, why didn't you come back to the ball? We're like, no, like that wasn't my best choice in the moment. Actually, that guy should have come back to the ball in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. But the greats know how to help. They know how to get themselves to that place where they can contribute and they can be like a big part of whatever the thing is that's going on. All right. So coming back to acting now, full circle, same idea, same concept applies. Because one of the things where we get stuck, I think, and this happens a lot also in improvisation. Okay. So you listen,
Totally.
you make a choice, and then you just live with the choice. But then immediately you got to listen, be willing to make a new choice. Listen, be willing to make a new choice. Like as you go, shaboom, shaboom, shaboom. So
Yeah.
people miss the be part.
Well, a lot of people miss listening too, or don't do that at the highest level.
Sure, no, 100%. But let's
Myself-
say you were
myself
listening.
included.
But let's say you
Yeah.
were listening and you're like, boom, choice. And then you just go into it, but you don't get to a place where you settle in. Then all of a sudden you just like, you're still trying to make choice to try to either shove your idea down the other person's neck or just like keep the thing going instead of allowing yourself to get back to listening.
Yeah.
And I think that might be more of your deal because I mean, maybe you don't listen at the highest level, but you listen pretty well. So you'll have a moment where you're like, I hear it. You make a choice, but then you don't settle.
Yeah. That's probably closer. You're right. Yeah.
And by settling into your choice, allowing yourself to just be, you put yourself in a position to continue to listen and make new choices that are higher level versus just like rapid fire, kind of out of control type choices.
Yeah. Totally. Improv is so hard in that way. There's so many unspoken rules that you break and you don't break, and what do you do here, and a lot of it just goes back to teamwork and settling into those moments, really.
Yeah.
Listening, settling, playing game, moving on. It's kind of that cycle.
All right, so let's do a little pop quiz here, Joey.
Ding!
All right.
That was a pop.
So you're gonna get the pop quiz. We're gonna see if you can pass the test today, and hopefully, if you get it, then the audience will have
Wait,
got it.
are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious.
Oh man, I hate
All right.
tests.
Well, it's time for Joey Sweeney's pop quiz. Let's see if you were listening, Joey.
Oh man.
All right, so this is a listen, choose, be pop quiz, okay? So here's the situation. You've been given a video to edit.
Okay.
How do you apply this concept to that video? Go.
Okay, I listen for your intention.
What if I'm not there?
I listen to
Oh, wait, what do you mean my intention? I'm sorry, I misunderstood your answer.
for assigning me, like the video. What's the purpose?
Oh,
for it?
okay.
Okay. I was gonna say. I mean, come on, man. I listen for your intention, and then from there, better understand. Okay, this is what we want to do with it. This is the why. That roots you more into it, makes it easier to start a creative process in that way. Then you choose what to make a priority with the video. So there's certain things in every video you can do, like buy footage or go back into our archives, find old footage, or use new footage, or use a graphic, or whatever. So deciding, okay, how much time should this take up? What are the things we want out of it? Is it going to be an ad? Is it going to be a promo before a show? Like, whatever. Figuring out, okay, this is what I need to do with it. This is the purpose. Then from there, going into the workflow, letting everything happen, being, relaxing, and letting the video create itself.
Okay, so now you're in where you've started the video. Then what?
I just did all 3 steps.
I know. Then what?
Oh, then you go back to listening.
When?
Right after?
Yeah, exactly. Immediately.
Yeah.
So while you're in
It
the
just
process,
repeats.
you keep listening. What are you listening for?
You're listening for a change?
A change.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like something... Because you already went through the process once, so now you're listening for if something changed with what you noticed before when you started it.
Explain. I'm confused.
If you started it with... Because you start it with listening.
Mm-hmm.
You start the project with listening. Then it repeats itself. You might have... You're listening for if there's a different direction you want to go with it or whatever.
Okay. Okay,
So you might be flipping up what you initially thought is what.
got it. And so then what?
Jeez, this is a brain teaser over here. Then you choose to. I don't know. I'm fried. It's like I got it once. I feel like, and then
Well,
you,
here's
like, flipped it, and
but
I'm
here's
like,
what's-
well, I can't give the same answer.
You kind of. So here's the deal, though. This might be the thing that you were saying, because you were saying this is where you struggle in improv, right?
Mhm.
And you were like, I failed to listen at the highest level, and I was like, I don't know that you do, but maybe at the highest level, but you more fail in the idea of the continual going back to listening.
Mhm.
So in this particular project, what you'll be looking for is like, okay, yes, intention, good. Make a choice how I'm going to get started, good. Let me be. I'm going to be in the process. Then as you're doing the process, you continue to listen for, is there a better way to do it? Is there a faster way to do it? Is there a more efficient way to do it? If there is, make a new choice. If I have an idea, like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got this idea. I'm going to listen to the idea and go, I may want to do this. I may not want to try this thing. I'm going to make that choice. If I try it, if I choose to do it, I'll choose it, then I'll be, and then I'm going to listen again. Was that a good choice or not? And I'll either delete it or I'll keep going. It's this constant process of filtering, making better. And editing is such a great example because like life, like acting, like everything I preach, there's always a way to make the video better, always.
Yeah.
At a certain point in time, we stop the edit and we put it out. And I've told you this before, and you just kind of mentioned it. It depends on the medium we're using it for, what's its intention, what's its purpose, and what's our timeline. A lot of times it's going to be better to get the content up and out and connected, like this show, for instance, right? We put this up live. We want to get you the information immediately.
Right away.
I'm sure there's plenty of episodes, probably every episode, that would be like better, sharper if it was not live, if we recorded, edited, went through that whole process. But we decided that it's better to get people new information right away, in your face, live. That would be better than the long-term, like, quality stuff that's like super, edited and all that type of thing. And so on the reverse side of things, though, let's say we're going to do a commercial for like a major company or like our company or something. It's going to be this thing that we're going to invest in, and it's going to go out and it's going to be like our first impression on somebody. We want to definitely take our time and go through like, okay, we really got to make sure that we're saying the right things, that we're putting the right image forward. That's something that we do slow down on, and we make sure that, it takes more time. And so every moment is gonna, and then even those, like, eventually you got to put it out. Remember the healthcare video? I mean, dude, we spent a ton of time on that. We started over a few different times. We really cared, and we wanted people to receive this message who needed it. And yet at the same time, we had to cut ourselves off eventually. When did it go?
All right.
When did it go out?
We are back.
We're back? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
It was
turn
when
this
I
mute.
plugged in my computer, it like shut off the stupid USB drive thing, and then it literally just froze us like a bunch of meanies.
Me. You're so mean.
Yeah.
No wonder you weren't talking to me. So it looks like it's still frozen here on the live that I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's probably about 20
So I think
seconds behind.
I think it's cut actually. So let's
Oh,
end,
is
let's,
it?
Yeah, let's
It says
end the show
live
here.
on air.
Well, it might be a new one.
Ah.
So let's cut the show here. Thank you so much for tuning in
Okay,
to this
sorry.
tiny ending video.
Tiny ending.
That is the end of our show. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this content. Help us spread this light-driven content to the planet.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com.